Executive summary. This presentation will answer the guiding questions of what should Chipotle be doing that it is currently not? What should Chipotle stop doing? How will we measure the results of implementing our strategy? We will first consider factors that guide Chipotle's current strategy, like its vision and mission statement. We will also discuss the company's current goals for growth and strategic development. We performed a variety of analyses, such as the internal factor evaluation matrix, the external factor evaluation matrix, and the competitive profile matrix to gather inputs for the first stage of strategy development. We also conducted a space matrix analysis to match the correct strategy to the company's holistic profile. These results will be shared. We will also share some recommended strategies. Chipotle isn't currently doing enough to target new and existing customers, and we recommend Chipotle focus on characterizing customers based on attributes rather than demographics. To give you a taste of what's to come, pun intended, Chipotle operates within the quick service restaurant, the QSR industry, and there is heightened bargaining power for consumers for value menu options. However, Chipotle has not done enough to respond to this demand for value menu options. We recommend that Chipotle respond by offering some value menu options to customers to meet this demand. We will also get into how to evaluate the success of our strategies and how to evaluate these strategies on a rolling basis. Let's get into it. Chipotle's vision and mission statements, as well as its current corporate objectives, guide its current strategy and desired path for growth. The company's vision statement is to enhance the way people perceive and partake of fast food. Its mission statement is to guarantee fast food prepared naturally, organically, and accessibly to everyone. These tenets of quality and accessibility guide its objectives. In 2018, Chipotle plans to open 150 new restaurants in the United States, further emphasizing the desire to be the preeminent provider of fast casual Mexican food in the domestic retail spaces, especially over its competitors like Qdoba and Moe's. The second objective is to increase suppliers. This objective highlights the company's priority to provide high value and quality at an accessible price to its consumers. Increasing the number of suppliers would help the restaurants to navigate the logistics and inventory concerns we are currently seeing. Through its present strategy, Chipotle has risen to the top as the market leader of fast casual, high-quality Mexican food. Its focus on providing the best quality ingredients has required concentration on limited menu options in order to prioritize competitive pricing from suppliers and a well-branded customer experience at a Chipotle store. Much like Chipotle's emphasis on providing the best quality ingredients and fast casual experience, its focus on providing its employees with hourly pay aligned with a living wage, strong training and development programs, and unique benefits like education assistance, a 401k, and paid time off for hourly employees emphasizes its commitment to this strategic position. By prioritizing its employees, Chipotle is able to better weather the storms of labor shortages that threaten its business. A strategic priority is the rebuilding of customer loyalty and trust after the food safety issues that have threatened the business. We will discuss this opportunity in depth as we outline our updated strategy. The plan to open 150 locations and increase our supplier relationships will rely on our ability to maintain brand loyalty in the marketplace.
Chipotle operates within the quick service restaurant industry. A quick service restaurant typically serves meals for lower prices and provides quick service, a limited menu, and limited table service. The quick service restaurant industry in the U.S. is among the most well-established worldwide. Many of the biggest quick service restaurant brands in the world originated in the U.S., including Chipotle, and dominated a large portion of the market. Chipotle was the 10th leading QSR chain in the U.S. by sales in 2020 and is also in the top 10 most valuable quick service restaurant brands for 2020 and 2021. Due to the pandemic, the total revenue of the quick service restaurant industry dropped to $239 billion in 2020 from the $273 billion in 2019. I will now discuss Porter's 5 forces analysis for Chipotle, starting with rivalry among competing firms. Chipotle has a high level of rivalry with their main competitors being Qdoba Mexican Eats, Moe's Southwest Grill, and Baja Fresh Mexican Grill. Both Qdoba and Moe's have approximately 700 restaurant locations, while Chipotle currently has approximately 2,800. These businesses fit many of the conditions for a high rivalry situation where the number of competing firms is high and they're similar size, and the firms have similar capabilities. The next point is potential entry of new competitors. Chipotle has done a tremendous job of building a loyal customer base, which means the barriers of entry are high. The focus of sourcing produce from local sources has enabled them to establish a supply chain that has not been matched by their competitors. Chipotle also possesses a patent for the method of creating a bowl in which they serve a significant portion of their food. Next is the potential development of substitute products. Potential substitutes have been developed recently that follow a similar model of a customized meal model. The main example of this would be Cava, which is a Mediterranean-style version of a customized meal model. Next is bargaining power of suppliers. In 2020, Chipotle sources 11% of its produce from 54 unique local farms. Gathering produce from that many different sources has aided Chipotle to build the necessary relationships with their farmers. This has allowed Chipotle to guarantee that they have the highest level of control of the rate of supply changes. This supply base also helps Chipotle focus on just-in-time delivery model, which cuts down waste costs. The final force of this analysis is the bargaining power of consumers. The current largest power held by the consumers is the constant stories of food poisoning that have been occurring with Chipotles across the country. Chipotle's wholesome, health-forward restaurant took a major downturn when a series of foodborne illness outbreaks caused by norovirus, salmonella, and E. coli sickened more than 1,100 people between 2015 and 2018. This increase in fear of illness has forced customers to seek substitutes, which has made Chipotle have to get creative with the ways to restore the level of trust that they have tarnished with previous events. Since these events, Chipotle has tried several times to offer discounts and other promotions in an effort to regain customer support. I will now discuss Porter's.
Here's a look at Chipotle's external factor evaluation matrix. The main opportunities are public concern about animal welfare, Mexican-style foods growing in popularity, and branding. In response to the public concern about animal welfare, the company received a 4 because it recently announced efforts to improve breeding, provide animals with more space and improve living conditions, and create a multi-step controlled atmosphere slaughter system. In response to Mexican-style foods growing in popularity, the company was assigned a 3 for their response to this factor because they stick to a limited menu of burrito-style dishes, but we suggest they could expand their menu options. And in terms of branding, Chipotle still segments customers demographically when they could be looking at other factors like affinity for health foods, or generation that someone belongs to when considering customer segmentation. When we take a look at the threats and the company response to the threats, we're talking about food safety issues, price volatility, supply shortages, and increased bargaining power given the market of value menu options. In response to the food safety issues, Chipotle hasn't had any major outbreaks since 2015. Demonstrating a successful 3 rating for their response. For price volatility, Chipotle is looking into increasing its number of suppliers, so they've received a rating of a 3. In response to supply shortages, Chipotle may increase its number of suppliers, which would mitigate supply chain concerns. Their response there is a 3. And then consumers have increase their bargaining power given the market of value menu options, but Chipotle doesn't plan to provide any value menu options to its customers, so their response to this heightened demand is a 1. The total weighted score of 2.71 indicates the organization's strategies are moderately effective at taking advantage of existing opportunities and minimizing the potential adverse effects of external threats.
When evaluating Chipotle through the IFE matrix, Chipotle's total weighted score is 2.85, which demonstrates an adherence to its robust vision and mission statement, but it also unveils weak internal strategies. If not addressed, these weaknesses could be detrimental to Chipotle's long-term competitive advantage. The matrix demonstrates strengths in its limited menu, employee benefits, and response to rivals in the market. Chipotle's focal weakness is in its food preparations, which has been a double-edged sword for Chipotle. Chipotle's commitment to sourcing ingredients from small local farms versus large corporations that test for microbes has exposed them to foodborne illnesses, putting a strike on their reputation. Additionally, Chipotle's nutritional value is at odds with their high caloric intake and sodium-loaded meals. Based on our evaluation, we are proposing for Chipotle to improve quality control to mitigate foodborne illnesses. By increasing their commitment to quality control, Chipotle can regain their consumers' trust and enhance their reputation as the fast casual market leader. We are proposing for Chipotle to invest in additional software and equipment to further monitor food safety and sanitation, in addition to restructuring its food-related quality control infrastructure with intensive employee training. To address consumers' nutritional concerns in an evolving health-conscious, fast casual market, Chipotle can offer additional options of meals with decreased caloric intake through smaller portion sizes at a slightly reduced cost. This would not only expand Chipotle's menu with their current ingredients used to rival competitors such as Moe's and Qdoba, but it would also set the stage for a more high-end value menu option in the fast casual market. We recommend that Chipotle strategically launches a smaller portion size value menu in test geographical areas in order to quantify consumers and market sentiments before scaling the menu across all chains. When analyzing Chipotle, Moe's, and Qdoba in the fast casual competitive profile, Chipotle came in a close second following Moe's, which demonstrates Moe's small competitive advantage over Chipotle. Moe's main competitive advantages over Chipotle is its price and atmosphere. We do not believe that Chipotle should lower its price point in order to rival competitors. Chipotle's price point stems from their high-quality ingredients that are sustainably sourced and free from preservatives, added flavor and color, and GMO-free. An industry weakness that Chipotle can capitalize on is to rival its competitors' Moe's is to enhance Chipotle's atmosphere. Currently, Moe's guests are greeted with a "Welcome to Moe's" and served free chips and salsa to create a social gathering. In order to improve Chipotle's atmosphere, it is recommended that they improve cleanliness, better table spacing, and mood music to create an enhanced social vibe. In addition, we recommend that Chipotle give a free side of guacamole. We believe this will increase foot traffic as consumers will no longer see the chain as a once-a-month eatery and a more affordable social eatery. We understand that guacamole is essentially avocado, and this would increase Chipotle's cost of goods, with no revenue to offset the cost of goods. To help offset the price of avocado, we suggest that Chipotle backwards integrates its essential produce products, starting with avocado. The results will be measured by quantifying the number of tables with 2 or more guests before the new atmosphere initiatives are taken, and then use the same measuring parameters after the atmospheric adjustments have been rolled out to see if the increased foot traffic will offset the additional cost of goods of avocado used to make the free guacamole. As always, we recommend that Chipotle test its strategic plan in a small geographical area before scaling the strategy amongst all franchise locations.
For Chipotle's space matrix, we analyzed several factors for the financial, competitive, stability, and industry position. For the financial position, we took a look at the ROI, leverage ratio, and we also took a look at liquidity ratio. The average total score for the financial position wound up being a 4.5. For the competitive position, we took a look at market share, and we took a look at product quality, and indicators of customer loyalty. And through looking at these factors, the average total score for the competitive position was a negative 2.77. For the stability position, we looked at attention to technological changes, the price of the product, and barriers to entry into the industry. They scored a negative 3.43 for the stability position. And lastly, for the industry position, we took a look at the company's EPS, profit potential indicators, and ease of entry into the market. Their average industry position rating was a 4.73, and as you can see, they land along an aggressive profile. A few different recommendations are going to be implemented to improve Chipotle's strategy. First of all, we seek to improve quality control, and Chipotle can ensure that someone is specifically assigned to each quality control activity that they're monitoring to make sure that no task goes undone at any point within the day. More specifically regarding the very important aspect of quality control that is known as food safety, the company can also provide updates to and frequent reminders of its cross-contamination policy. This is going to help keep quality control and sanitation at the forefront of people's minds. The restaurants can also use inspection software that enables the restaurant to detect breaches of health-related indicators. There's also a problem with Chipotle's atmosphere, so we suggest improved cleanliness, better table spacing, and more mood music as suggested improvements. This will make customers flock to the restaurants. We also recommend Chipotle provide free guacamole as a topping instead of charging for it. We realize that giving it for free would negatively affect Chipotle's profits, and something else must compensate for the loss of profit associated with the lower or non-existent price for guacamole. So if backwards integration or food preparation and sale automation in the various restaurants were successful in reducing the costs, those savings could then be applied to lower the price of add-ons like guacamole.
With increased focus on value menu options in the QSR industry, Chipotle can best respond to consumer demands by providing these types of options. For example, why not offer elote as one of those? Another way Chipotle can respond to these demands is by making sure their current staples like beef, chicken, pork, and sofritas are always available. As a result of this, customers would see Chipotle as affordable and reliable, which are two lacking qualities for the chain. To insulate their supply chain, which is another one of our recommendations, Chipotle can backward integrate their suppliers, such as those for meat, vegetable, and tortillas. This could help lower costs and ensure pivotal ingredients are never lacking in the restaurants. On the other hand, Chipotle can also consider entering into exclusivity agreements with their existing suppliers, but that would be more risky because it might provide only more limited control over the supply chain, and in any case would do little to reduce costs, likely the opposite, or improve product quality. To achieve market penetration, development, and product development, we recommend the chain launch a Super Bowl ad to increase brand awareness. Purchase the less well-known Cafe Rio Mexican Grill. Target new customers by offering free samples at international terminals and airports. Develop value menu products like elote, reevaluate their pricing scheme, and launch monthly special products offered at affordable prices. The latter could be feasible and made profitable because buying large quantities of the inputs needed for the specials could likely be negotiated at reduced prices, thereby allowing also reduced prices for the specials. The same logic could apply to some value menu products.
Chipotle's strengths remain relevant. They have a comprehensive benefits package to support their competitive edge in the labor market. Their limited menu options provide simplicity that customers like, but Chipotle needs to respond to the nutritional concerns and deficiencies surrounding its organizational structure. Chipotle's most significant weakness is in its product's nutritional value. So to respond to this, we propose Chipotle launches a light fare menu, assuaging customers by providing nutritional information and offering meals at 500 calories or less, plus reducing sodium content. The other weakness Chipotle has is its functional rather than divisional organizational design. We therefore suggest that Chipotle step away from its functional design and take on a divisional organizational structure to increase employee communication, employee specialization, and overall efficiency.
With
Chipotle
To ensure the success of Chipotle strategies, we recommend an annual review and evaluation process. Using the diagram to the left, we can observe the steps we would take. First is examining the underlying base of Chipotle's strategy by comparing a revised IFE and EFE matrices to the current IFE and EFE matrices. If you look to the right, you will see what we've demarcated as Chipotle's current IFE and EFE matrices for your reference. We are looking to observe if there is a significant difference between the revised score and the current score. If there is a significant difference, we want to take corrective actions here to improve the base strategy. If not, we want to then move on to the next step, which is measuring our organizational performance. Chipotle's performance analysis should include assessing Chipotle's revenue performance against their competitors, their internal performance over each quarter, and an assessment of their standing within the industry. We want to ensure that short-term objectives and long-term objectives are being used in this process. If there is no significant difference, then Chipotle should continue the present course. But if these objectives are not being met, this is a signal that a corrective action is needed. For example, if Chipotle does not meet their goal of increasing their use of organic farms, then we should want to take corrective action. When taking corrective action, we want to completely reposition a firm for the future.